Hey, welcome. Back
What's
at
up?
it again, baby.
Another glorious Monday.
Yeah. Yep. What episode is this? 5, 6?
6, right?
6.
Wow. 6, is that a milestone number? I think 5 is a milestone number.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe 4. 4 is our milestone number. And we're 2 above that.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Big things.
I'm making so much sense.
I definitely had a case of the Mondays today.
Oh, God.
100%.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was rough. I'm happy it's over. I'm going to sleep like a brick tonight. I'll probably go to bed the second that we're done. Poor
You're
dog.
like, cut.
My dog gonna be like, you didn't give me any attention today.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh well. Hey Danielle.
Hey Sean. What the hell are we doing?
What the hell are we doing? The podcast that discusses love, life, and everything in between through incessant babbling.
Incessant babbling.
Yeah.
Although I feel like I haven't been babbling much of late.
No, you've been busy.
Yeah. I'm not drinking today, y'all. I'm
Water.
drinking water.
No. That's a talk about a milestone.
I know. Episode 6, new things.
Yeah, there we go. I'm just so. I was gonna say I'm so dry. I'm dry. I need water. Okay. Do you want to jump in?
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so I had someone submit for the icebreaker and the topic for this week.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a friend of mine, Josh. He just moved to Florida. I couldn't tell you what part of Florida that he lives in. Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah. He texted me and he's like, "Hey," and so yeah, I actually really liked his idea a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised it's not something that we've thought of. Being 100%
I'm like,
honest.
thanks for submitting.
So okay, because he kind of posed it as like one question, but I'm breaking it up: icebreaker and then main topic.
Oh.
Cool. So the icebreaker. What is one of the scariest moments of your life? Right?
We doing that?
Yeah, that's just the icebreaker. Because then the main topic is a little bit more lighthearted.
Okay.
It can also be like the main topic can also be scary, but it's more lighthearted.
Scariest moment of my life. I was held up at gunpoint with a saw-off shotgun.
Oh my God.
That's why I was like, oh, this is what we doing.
Ooh, ouch. Okay, yeah, I see why.
I was going to an ATM.
Wait, did this happen here in Salt Lake?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
It happened in Georgia.
Okay.
And my friends were in a car and I was walking up to the ATM and dude came around the corner. He had the bandana on and he had the sawed-off shotgun. It was like right here. And he was like, "Give me all your effing money." And I heard the voice and I thought it was like a joke. And I turned around, ha ha. And the gun was like, boom. And I just threw my hands up and I was like, this is all I have. And I just was standing there and he grabbed it and then he ran. But I was just frozen. I was just standing there. And then my friend beeped the horn. And then it was like somebody lit fire to my ass.
Yeah.
And I ran in the car.
Oh.
I ran home, called the cops.
Yeah.
I ended up IDing him in the lineup because we had to do all of that.
Really? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this is like a real story. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's why when you was like, "What's the scariest time?" I was like, "Oh fuck."
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm sorry if that was triggering for you. What's a sawed-off shotgun?
Because you know how like the shotguns are typically like long.
Yeah.
They cut it. They cut the
just
barrel.
like hacksawed it.
I don't know how you do it, but then you just cut the
hacksaw
barrel in
is.
half.
And
so the barrels is like big as shit.
Ugh.
Yeah. So I was held up at gunpoint.
Wow. Yeah. Man.
I'm like, that was some scary shit.
Yeah, that is scary. Man, I'm sorry. Wow.
Which is why when everything happened at the mall, when the gun shooting.
Yeah.
That's why I had such a hard time.
Yeah.
Because when I was, when you were young, I never went to therapy for it. I didn't talk to nobody. I just got drunk after it happened.
Right.
Because I didn't know what else to do. So all of that was just kind of like just buried.
Right.
But then when the shooting at the mall happened.
Flared up.
And we saw the guns. You saw the report.
Like 3 people are dead.
Wait, did you really say that?
No, I ain't say that.
You text Melissa that.
3 people are dead at the mall? No, I didn't. I didn't say 3 people are dead.
For a minute there, they were reporting that 2 people got shot.
They got shot.
But they weren't confirming if they were dead or not. I don't think they confirmed that until like the next day.
Because I was standing out. We had to stand out there till everything was let out because all my stuff was still in there.
Oh yeah, I hijacked a car. I wasn't there. You know what? I forgot about that because when I was thinking of my scariest moment, that's actually probably it. But I completely forgot about it. And I never think about it anymore. Have I repressed it or have I dealt with it? I think I've dealt with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like before even talking about it, it would make me shaky. But like I don't have an issue talking about it now.
Yeah. Let me try to think. Another scary point. I don't know if it was really scary. Yeah, it was. It's kind of scary, kind of surreal is when I had my choice taken away from me recently.
Wow. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
It's just things.
One of my scariest moments, I think I got very close to being kidnapped at a mall in Minneapolis.
Like how old? Kidnapped?
Yeah, kidnapped as much as you can kidnap a 22-year-old. No, so there's a mall in Edina, Minnesota. It's called Southdale Mall. It's actually the first mall in the entire United States ever.
Oh, wow.
Fun little fact. I went shopping with some friends at the time. I was a smoker, so I went outside to smoke a cigarette. This guy pulled up in a huge van, like what you'd think a typical creeper van is, and he had a little child sitting in the front seat, like maybe 2.
Oh, shoot.
And he started telling me about all the tools that he had in his van and how he could just like wreak havoc on the mall. And he was just being like really aggressive. And then, I kind of like blacked out, but then, an employee came out and recognized me. He worked at H&M and he was just like, oh, hey, you were just shopping at H&M, huh? And the guy sped off, like just drove away so quickly. And yeah, so I gave the H&M employee a cigarette and then I left.
That's creepy. People are weird.
People are weird. And you know what? I think I blocked that one out because I don't remember what he said. I just remember like he pulled up and started talking to me and like, I thought he was going to ask for a cigarette, but he didn't. So I can't even remember what we were talking about. But yeah, he just started making some like, he was saying that like the tools in the back of his van could like go through bones and shit like that. Anyway. And then, the shooting at the mall, but that ended up being, that wasn't an active shooter. That was just a gang related shooting. Yeah. And I think that made it a lot easier to get over. But yeah.
Things.
Yeah. Scary moments. Okay. So we started off kind of heavy.
I was like, oh shit.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm like, can I get a shot?
You're like, you know what? On second thought. Well, okay, then let me pose the topic to you and make sure that you like the topic.
All right, let's go.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have ghost stories?
No.
No?
Ghost stories? No.
No. You don't?
I don't think so. Not from the top of my head, but I do believe in them, no.
Okay, yeah.
I know you do, though.
Yeah, should we pause for a minute?
Why?
Is this okay to talk about? Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Oh, wait, why wouldn't it be okay to talk about?
The child.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yes, I think I believe in ghosts, but I do have a lot of ghost stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can tell them, but I feel like it's going to be pretty one-sided.
Tell it.
Okay. Where should I start? Okay, so I lived in a house. Most of these take place in Minneapolis. But I lived in a house in Minneapolis, and it was a duplex. And our landlord had just bought it and remodeled it, and he lived on the first floor. And then we lived on the second floor, and the second floor had a walk-up attic. So we had like a door in our living room that we could open up, stairs that led up to an attic. And up there, it looked like a total like party den. Like there were cigarette butts everywhere, beer bottle caps that were just like kind of in the floorboards. Like it wasn't a finished attic, but you could like hang out up there. So that place was really haunted. But so there were 3 of us that were living there, and the doorbell that was built into the house didn't work anymore. So the landlord just put on one of those that you can get from Walmart that you just like stick it and then plug it in inside. Well, that would constantly ring, and we thought it was malfunctioning, but it would constantly ring until you went up and opened the door, and then it would stop. And we wouldn't touch the doorbell or anything. But it would happen to all three of us. And then we got so sick of it that we just unplugged the doorbell box.
Yeah.
And like it stopped for a while, but then all of a sudden the actual doorbell in the house started ringing, and there wasn't even a button for it. But it would ring until we opened the door again. But then so we could actually hear someone walking around in the house. We'd hear it occasionally.
Nope.
And come to find out, it was a halfway house. It was a sober house that someone had recently OD'd in the attic. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I feel bad. Like that one kind of bums me out, but.
Oh.
Yeah. We actually didn't find that out until after we moved out. When I went to cosmetology school, there was an older gentleman that was in my class, and I guess he managed that halfway house before it got foreclosed on, and he was telling me about it. I was just like, oh, okay, yeah.
That's scary. I watch a lot of scary movies and a lot of paranormal scary movies. I'd have been gone.
You'd think so. This is actually kind of a funny story. There was one time I was home alone, broad daylight. I think it was earlier in the morning because I remember I was making like eggs. I was making breakfast. And what did I went down into the front yard for something, and I saw LDS missionaries walking around my neighborhood. And I was just like, oh no, here they come. So I just waited upstairs. I was making food in my kitchen, whatnot. And the doorbell rings, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to ignore it. And they'll go away. It rings a second time. And so like literally the second that it rings, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go downstairs and let them know I'm not interested. There was no one there. And then I looked outside, and the missionaries were still at the house that I saw them at. And I was just like, oh, okay. So yeah, there's one story. I'm going to blow through these really quickly. I feel
like that's the stuff in the movies when you open the door and then the spirit come in your house and they be messing with you. Ooh!
Yeah. Well, what is kind of funny is like we moved in before the landlord did. And then I'm not even kidding you. Like 2 days after the landlord moved into his unit downstairs, he knocks on our door, and he's got, like an energy healer. And she's like, hey, we're going to sage your house. Have you noticed anything?
Yeah.
And at that point we hadn't, but I think he had.
He was like, hell no. I got sage and Palo Santo in my house now.
Well, and then I
did that today before everyone came over.
You sage? I thought so. I thought I could see that.
Palo Santo today.
Nice. Did it work?
I feel like Bella loves it.
Really? That's cool.
She follows me. Oh my god.
That's
she
cool.
Loves it. But yeah, I think it works.
Yeah. Okay, so before I tell another story, like what you said that you do believe in ghosts. What makes you believe in that? What makes you believe?
I just feel like, why not?
Yeah.
Like I feel like anything's kind of possible.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I just feel like it's all possible.
Because I've grappled with like why I believe in it, because seeing as I'm not a really religious person.
That ain't got nothing to do with religion though.
I know, but like kind of like my views on the afterlife and whatnot. I don't know. It's all kind of conflicting. But yeah, I definitely believe. So.
Because they say like, even though you may not believe in it, doesn't mean like it doesn't exist. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it might just be energy. Who knows? Yeah.
Oof.
Okay, let's see.
Creepy.
I'm trying to think which one I should tell next. So my favorite apartment I've ever lived in was in downtown Minneapolis. I think, I've told you about it. It's the one that was laid out exactly like this apartment. Yeah. But so that place was really interesting. I lived there for 3 years, and like I never had an issue. Actually, there were some weird things that happened there, but like overall I felt pretty safe. But I moved in, and like I would wake up at the same exact time every morning, and it was 4:02 a.m. and I would just feel like there was someone in my apartment. And I couldn't see anything, but I could just feel it. I was just like, there's someone in here.
Yeah.
And it was so bizarre. It was really, really weird. And it happened consistently for months. 4:02 a.m. Same exact feeling. Woke up every time. And at first, I don't know if it ever really creeped me out. I think there was one night that it creeped me out, especially when it started happening so consistently. I was just like, what in the hell? But one of my coworkers at the time was looking for an apartment. So I referred her, and she moved into the same exact building. I was on the top floor. She was on the bottom floor. And she comes to me like a few days later at work after she moves in, and she's like, hey, like, do you think our building is haunted? I'm like, yeah, like I have some suspicions. And she's like, yeah, and then she started saying that, like, she was just like, hold on, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. She started describing it, and she's like, yeah, I felt him standing over my bed, and she's like, it's a boy, not a man, but it was a boy. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I haven't seen anything or like heard anything. I just like, I can feel someone around. Well, I was still in cosmetology school at the time. And so she asked me for a haircut. She comes up to my apartment, and we're kind of discussing it. She's like, yeah, I always feel something like really weird. And then I had a clock radio at the time, and it turned on right as we were talking about it. And I was just like, oh, okay. Well, anyway, so she didn't live there for very long.
I don't blame her. I've been gone.
Well, because, okay, here's the thing. I will say I fully believe this story 100%. But so she lived on the first floor, right? I already said that. And we came to the conclusion that the ghost did not like her. And it really freaked her out quite a bit. But yeah, the ghost did not like her. It was starting to make itself more present in like my apartment as well, but it felt like a friendly vibe to me. Like it didn't feel threatening or anything, but she did not feel that way. So yeah, she moved out. She just didn't like the city. She was a suburb girl and went back to the suburbs. But right after she moved out, so the building sat right here, and then what wrapped around it was an abandoned hospital that they had just recently turned into apartments. It was called the Abbott Hospital. And then there was a children's unit, and my windows overlooked the children's unit. And so one night, kept waking up consistently. Never saw anything, but definitely felt it there. And then, yeah, I kind of started getting the sense that it was like a younger boy. Well, and then one night I had a dream, and it was him. He showed his whole story to me, and it turns out that like they lived in a house. He lived in a house that was in the neighborhood. And his mom was just like an alcoholic mom that was just like dating all these different men. And like one of her boyfriends beat him to death. And then he never showed up again.
Huh? Yo, what?
You fell asleep for a minute there.
Nah. I'm scared.
Did I freak you out?
A little. I was like, damn.
I didn't even tell the full dream, but like that was the gist of it.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then he was gone. Literally never showed up again. Never woke up at that time again.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And he died at 4:02 a.m.
It must have been. And I think he may have died in that hospital too, because that children's unit, that's just kind of what I came to. But yeah, that one was kind of freaky. Yeah.
It'd be like the memes. There's like a meme. It's like a white and black joke. White people versus black people. But they say like, if when the house is haunted, like white people be like, hello, who's there? Yeah. What do you want? And then if the black person said, then they like just pack up and they leave. Yeah. And the end of the movie.
Like, nope, I'm getting out of here.
I feel like that'd be me, especially like, I feel like pets can see things that we don't see.
Yeah. Luna barked at the one at the house a lot. The one where, the doorbell one. Because, we heard her walking around one night. We think the ghost was a her, just because the person who passed away was a woman. We heard her walking around, and she walked in. I heard her walk into my room, even though my door was closed. No.
Oof.
You want me to stop?
Nah, go ahead. I'm just having my reactions to it.
So I hadn't fully fallen asleep yet. It was like 11:15, maybe 11:30 at night. And I literally saw her walk up to my closet and she started rummaging through the closet. None of my stuff moved, but it looked like she was looking at something that wasn't there. And Luna, when she walked into the room, Luna's ears perked up and then she just watched her in the closet as well.
And you just stayed there watching.
I just stayed there.
Oh hell no! I'd have been gone.
And I was honestly kind of petrified. But so she left my room, and then I walk out and I go into my roommate's room, who was that duplex was laid out really, really weird. But because it sounded like she came from the living room, and his bedroom was right off the living room, and mine was back in the hallway. That doesn't do much. So I walk out and I'm like, hey, Jack, did you hear that? And he's like, yeah, I'm just staying in my room. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, but that we heard that same, she would walk the same route in the house multiple times. And then would just stop outside of my bedroom door. But we felt like she started in his room and then would come over to mine, or she'd come down from the attic. If she wasn't ringing the doorbell. I don't know what the doorbell bit was all about.
Sade.
Oh, but I didn't finish that story actually. So the landlord, I became really good friends with his boyfriend at the time. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember how it came up, but he was just like, yeah, Scotty, who was the landlord, he was just like, Scotty doesn't like this house very much because of the ghost. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you guys have seen it too. And he's like, yeah, he hangs out in our kitchen. I'm like, oh, you think it's a man? They thought it was a man, but yeah.
Nope. Nope.
Those are really the only two really good, interesting stories that I have. Oh, I'm trying to think. Oh, no. My Salt Lake apartment.
The one on 9th?
No. That one had too many problems in actual living life that it wasn't haunted. That place got hit by a car.
Yeah.
No, but so I lived in Marmalade 2010. I moved into Marmalade. Beautiful apartment. To this day, I still really like that apartment a lot. But we had recently moved in, and so we were on the middle there. It was 3 stories. So there was first story that was kind of a basement because it sat on a slope. So the back part of the building wasn't underground, but the front part was. And then we were in the middle floor, and then the top floor, there was a floor above us, obviously. And I had the master bedroom, but the master bedroom had a door outside to the back of the building that led to a small yard. Mm-hmm. And so I'd use that to take Luna outside all the time and whatnot. But same thing, at that time I was a smoker. And so I went to go outside, and I just looked down. There was a swinging bench in the yard. And I looked down, and there was this really deformed figure just staring back up at me.
That's it.
And
I'm finna go.
Are you done? We can change the subject.
No, go ahead. This is me. I'm like, this is me. I'm just making my remarks.
Okay.
I watch scary movies and I do the same thing. I'm like, nope.
You know what? That's fair. Yeah.
I'm finna leave. I do this. This is just.
And so yeah, I was just petrified in fear, and
a deformed figure on a swinging thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's so hell nah, shouter.
It kind of looked like a skeleton with melting skin.
Fuck it! I'm scared.
It gets a little worse. This one gets actually a lot worse. This one gets a lot worse. Anyway.
I need a blanket.
So we
a deformed. He was set on fire.
Okay. Honestly, the ending of this story is actually pretty sad. But so this was at that time. I think this was early October.
Ooh, that's
right as I was experiencing that, I didn't end up going outside. I actually just walked back into the apartment, didn't say anything to my roommate at the time. That was my roommate, Anthony. You've met him. Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't say anything to him. He was home, but I was just kind of so freaked out that I was just like, okay, I'm probably just seeing things. And, but then 5 minutes later, I get a text from my friend, and she's just like, hey, I want a ghost tour, and your apartment's on the ghost tour.
See, that's that okay.
And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Didn't ask why, did not want to know why. And I just kind of left it. Well then, man. So Anthony worked overnights. So there was a lot of times that he wasn't home, but I could hear someone walking around in the apartment. He was a tall man, and he would whistle. And Same thing. Luna's ears would perk up sometimes, not all the time. So with this one, I truly thought that I was just kind of like hearing things. But then one night, this one's really bad. I'm going to start shaking. There was one night that, what time was it? Anthony was home. I think it was around midnight. It was dumping snow. And it was a really small apartment building. So there's just one entrance. Mm-hmm. And like, so here was the door. And then we had like a little balcony right here. And then our neighbor had a balcony. So it's just like 6 units. But we could see the front door into the building, and there was fresh snow. And then also like the door, the door to my bedroom that went outside, that was a story up. And so that was like a deck. Well, I don't know what time it was, but we were both in bed asleep. Luna was on the bed with me. And then all of a sudden, like, someone just starts like viciously pounding on our door. Like, it sounded like they were almost about to kick it down. And so at the time, we both slept with our doors open. So Luna jumps off the bed. Runs up to the front door, and like, just starts barking like crazy. And at that time, I was scared, but I wasn't fucking around. Like, okay, who the fuck needs something? Yeah. Look through the peephole. There's no one there. So I peek out onto our little front deck, and there were no footprints in the snow leading up to the building. So I open up the door.
You open a door?
Yes. I'm one of those stupid white people. I'm sorry, I am. Anthony didn't want me to. I will put that in there.
Why you do that?
Because I thought someone was fucking with us.
You ain't seen no footprints.
I didn't see any footprints. No. Yeah. And so I'm like looking through the hallway. You can see literally everything.
You let it in the house.
Probably.
You let it in the God.
Probably. But okay, so this is where it gets bad. This is where it gets.
I'm gonna throw up. Let me get my sounds out.
Okay, so the building belonged to a woman in Georgia. Shout out to Georgia. She refused to work or speak to any of the tenants, and she'd owned the building for years. It was this really old woman. And she had been trying to sell the building for a long time, for a few years. When I say a long time, I'm talking like it was on the market maybe 2-3 years. This was when the market wasn't very good, like 2008 to 2010-ish. Like, things weren't really moving much. So she finally sells the building, and it's our last month. It's the final month of our lease. And so I'm getting ready to move up to Minneapolis. Like, I already knew that I was moving. Anthony was dating someone. I think they were going to move to Vegas. Yeah, they moved to Vegas shortly after. But the new owners come to do a walkthrough, and like, they let us know that it was happening, and they walked through every single unit. And I'm home, and they're like, oh, or they told us.
Is this the next day after you opened the door?
Oh, no. That was maybe halfway through the lease.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, we had things that happened in between that, but it was mostly just like hearing someone walk around. But then so they're inside the apartment they're walking through all the units, and then they come to ours, and they're like, okay, so yeah, this was his apartment.
Who's he?
And I'm just like, I'm sorry, excuse me, wait, who? Because they were talking about it, and they're like, oh, ooh. So there's a really famous serial killer that got caught in Utah. It was Ted Bundy's former apartment. Yeah.
Okay, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Y'all was in Ted Bundy's apartment.
His exact unit.
Oh, bitch.
Yeah.
Ooh, Ooh, she bitch.
Yeah, so it was pretty scary. That one actually didn't sit well with me for a while. And like, even still, when I think about it too hard, I like, yeah. I think she was the owner of the building when he lived there, because honestly, she was old enough to have been. And rent was fairly cheap for
I'm trying to process this. So you used to live in Ted Bundy's apartment.
Mm-hmm. I think when he lived there, because I think part of the apartment, like the second bedroom, because the second bedroom was really small. And if you look at the side of the building, like most of the building is brick, and then the back half of it is like weird stucco. And so I think the second bedroom was an addition. So I think when he was living there, it was a 1 bedroom, and that would have been my bedroom. And that's why there was a door outside. Like originally there wasn't probably a door out into the backyard from my bedroom, because it was an addition.
What the fuck was the figure outside?
Oh, okay. So, like, I don't know and this, I find this really sad. Okay. Like, I know that this makes for an interesting story, but like what happened to the women that he abused and murdered, like really bums me out. But, I know that he did, like, he would take trophies home. I think I've never looked into that, but people have told me that he did. And I emailed this into My Favorite Murder and they never read it.
Damn.
Just calling you out, Karen and Georgia. Kidding.
Well, I feel like this is a damn episode of My Favorite Murderer right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a dark episode.
I just feel like singing some hymns.
Yeah. We can talk about something happy. What should we talk? Yeah, that one really bums me out.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I don't like to tell that one a whole lot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was.
Ooh.
Yep. Because he got caught at our mall.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that.
It was Fashion Place Mall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway,
that was some shit.
Yeah.
that was some.
Do I have any others? I love hanging out in like graveyards.
Nope. Nope.
I don't do that normally.
I
think they're beautiful, but I'm not gonna go like.
I could watch it during the daytime. I want to own a cemetery. I mean, I told you about that, but.
Oh, you wouldn't walk around one at night?
No, hell no. Hell to the whole hell.
Dude, let's go to one in New Orleans.
Nope.
And
like that shit is real in New Orleans.
It is, and I think they sound pretty.
That's okay. I don't need no spirits attached to me.
Yeah.
If I walk through that thing, they'd be like, "Ooh, I like her. Let me try to attach to her." Like, like the Portuguese. I think that's the difference. Like it reminds me of like Annabelle. Like there's like spirits that's not of this world. They try to attach themselves to you.
Oh, okay.
That's according to like Annabelle and the whole Conjuring series and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've only seen The Conjuring.
And then there's Paranormal Activity where they actually did haunt them.
Wait, is that part of the same? Okay,
that's different.
I thought so. Mm-hmm. And I've only seen the first one.
And so what they like, one of the biggest things they say is like the spirits like stay around, they scare you, of course.
Yeah.
But they feed off your fear.
Right.
And the lower that your kind of energy gets, then it's easier for them to take over you. And you can get possessed.
Energy, like the lower your fear gets or the higher your fear gets? The higher fear gets,
which means your like light in a sense is dimming.
Oh, I see.
And then your spirit in a sense is weaker and then it can take over. You can get possessed and stuff like that. Or then there's some like they say like kind of spirits or what do they call them? There's a difference between like demons and then there's like another one that's just like it's a type of entity.
Okay. And it's not a poltergeist.
It's just something that's not of this world in a sense. But they can attach themselves to you. That's what happened on the poltergeist. Like it didn't matter where she went or where you go once it attached themselves to you. That is you gotta do some extra shit to get it off. That's why I don't fuck with that shit. I don't care. I don't. That's because I do believe in it and I'm not going to even test it to see.
Right.
I don't go through no cemeteries. I can't even drive past. Oh, one night Camila was taking me through the avenues, and it was like a cemetery.
I love that cemetery. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Let's just drive through it. Let's just something on the side, and I lost my shit. I lost it. I am scared. I am scary.
You know that I have relatives. Like I have some ancestors buried in that cemetery. There's two. There are two in the avenues.
You can go through the daytime. Pay respects. I'll go with you in the daytime. I ain't going at night.
Cool. I know what we're doing Sunday.
Nope.
I'm kidding. Honestly, if I pulled up to a cemetery at night, I'd probably be like, okay, yeah, no, I don't want to go in there.
Ooh.
But also saying that just sounds kind of like, I don't know. I always feel kind of like disrespectful towards the dead.
To not go at night?
No, just talking about it in that sense.
Oh. The closest thing I'm gonna get to scary stuff is sitting on my couch and watching my scary movies.
Yeah.
That's my little area.
You and I watched a movie together, I think. And it was the son possessed and so was the dad as a child?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
What was it called?
I forgot. But it was on Amazon Prime.
That's what it was. I actually really liked that movie.
They was playing tricks on him, but they kind of possessed him in a way to make it think like it was his son, but all the while it was him. Yeah.
Yep. Did he? I don't remember how it ends. I'm surprised that I can't remember the name of that movie.
That was a long time ago. That was like a year and a half ago.
That was pre-pandemic.
See, showed it. I like scary movies too. I love scary movies actually. But I have a thing where I like can allow myself to disconnect from it. Because I also believe like there's certain things that can get deposited in your subconscious mind if you're not careful. You know what I mean? And so I started watching scary movies when I was maybe 12. Yeah. The first one I watched was Scream.
Oh, okay.
And I remember I got really scared. And this is back when I used to see like my dad in the summer. I was at his house. And one thing I do remember, he was just like, just remember that this is TV. It's not real. And so when I watch it on the TV, I'm always like, okay, this is a whole production thing. So I can enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
And then sometimes like there is things like when they start saying that Latin stuff and they be like, oh, yes. I always cover my ears.
Really?
I cover my ears every time.
Those are some of my favorite parts.
And I start humming. Yeah. Because I'm like, I don't know what they're saying. I don't want that in my brain. I don't want to remember what you're saying. What if you're trying to possess me on the low? I don't know.
Right.
I just don't.
Latin is so beautiful though.
If I get really weird, then I end up saying like a prayer after it.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
I know. I'm kind of like, I don't want to say weird like that.
I don't think it's weird. And I'm sure you're not the only one who does that. I'm sure there are plenty of people who do that, actually.
But it keeps me like separated from it to where I can. There was one I watched recently on Amazon Prime. That shit was scary. I forgot what it was called. But the mom got possessed. It was a spirit in the house that wanted the dad's soul, and the dad was dying and he was in hospice. And so then the mom kept telling the children, do not come. Yeah. The kids came because they was like, hey, my dad's dying. I want to be there. And when they came, she was like, I told y'all not to come here. I told y'all not to come. 2 days later, she hung herself.
I've seen this movie. What was it called?
I don't know. I don't remember. I'll have to like research it. I know it had a red cover thing.
Yeah. I don't remember.
And then the spirit thing was in a house. But they was like, no, I just don't want to leave my dad. And I was like, take that nigga to the hospital. Why y'all gonna take care of him in a bed? Like, that y'all be making me mad.
You're not medically trained professionals.
The nurse would come in. Like, if he moved, they said if he moves, he's gonna die or something like that. I'm like, let's get an oxygen tank.
Okay, so here's one movie that everyone was telling me would be so scary, including you. And then I watched it and I was just like, oh, that was nothing.
What?
It was Hereditary.
That was on some freaky shit.
It was freaky.
And it was dark.
It was dark.
That's what made it scary for me. It was just like so evil.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly was like a dark feeling movie. But the way... And maybe it was just like hyped up for me, but like that, I thought Midsommar was a lot scarier.
Really? I didn't think Midsommar was scary.
Yeah, and that's how Midsommar fucked me.
Really?
For weeks. Weeks.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, now that we're talking about it, I'm probably going to go home and like...
So let's just some good music on the way home or something so you won't think about it.
Well, since I'm staying in house sitting for my friend, it's like a 4-minute drive.
That's right.
So it's not going to do anything. Anyway. Yeah, I thought, and the part, spoiler alert for Midsommar, the part that fucked me up the most, there were two.
What?
This one's a little bit more obvious. The person jumping off, it was like
the old man, like, oh yeah, I'm getting closer to.
Yeah. So they had like a ceremony for the man and the woman, where at 72, they die.
Yeah.
it showed it. It was very graphic. The whole ceremony was just really, it was just weird.
But is that like scary or is that just gory? See, that's
okay. See, that was just gory. And here's the thing:
I hate gore.
I do too. And every culture has their own rituals, and like, I won't judge it, but it was just, it showed it, and it was just like, I don't know. It kind of reminded me. I don't remember the name of this story, but it's a commonly told story, and I think it was like in grade school. But it was this story about like a small community that to help with population control, every year they pull a name from the hat, and whoever's name is pulled gets stoned to death.
I ain't never heard that shit. You heard that shit in grade school? That's something. What the hell?
Yeah, it was messed up. They actually showed us. It was like
what?
It was depicted in a movie. Like it was a short. I had a messed up childhood, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, I need to close my mouth.
But here's the thing.
Like,
okay,
what?
the point of that is everyone in the community was so desensitized to it. This actually makes me sick to my stomach because like the person is there like suffering and like screaming and crying. Ugh. Okay, let's go somewhere else. The thing that messed me up in Midsommar was at the end, it was her boyfriend that she went with, how he has sex with that woman.
And it was like,
and it was a whole production. Like, yeah, all the other women joined in.
that shit was weird.
But then like they drugged him or something.
Yeah.
And then
everybody was drugged. That's how they was able to do what they did to everyone.
Oh. So they were all paralyzed like that at some point? Because I know that the person that they did the butterfly to.
Yeah.
It was the bear suit. The fact that like everyone else was dead.
He was alive.
He was alive, but he was like paralyzed. Couldn't do anything about it. And was stuffed into a bear. We do have to talk about something happy now. All right.
Because I'm happy, come along if you feel like a something.
I hate that song. No,
yeah, that one didn't really affect me because I'm like, everyone was high the whole time. Majority of the time, everyone was high, whether they smoked or they had something in a drink that put them in the altered state. And I knew she was going to survive because she was already on some type of meds at the beginning. I was like,
Ativan. Wasn't it Ativan?
Something like that,
yeah.
From the beginning, I was like, it makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't understand the full queen thing, but like she's
crazy too. That's why she flipped right in. She was already.
Did you notice? So Hereditary, most of it was filmed in Utah. Midsommar, just the house that like her family died in. That was a Utah house.
For real?
Huh.
So they feel like crazy wait. Shit here. Okay.
Yeah. It's because we're so witchy. Doesn't he have a third movie? Should I watch his third movie?
I don't even know.
I don't know the name of the director. I should really come in with more research if I'm going to talk about things. I didn't know we'd be talking about this movie though. Yeah, Hereditary did nothing to me, but I think the part of Hereditary that I think could have gotten to me is there was a fair amount of obvious mental illness. And that could have gotten to me, but it didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I like scary films. I like the psychological thriller ones. When you're trying to like guess what happened and like, oh, this is gonna come next. Or when you hear the music, it's like, you should go around the corner and there's like a poppy scene and you're like, oh shit. Like those are my favorite type.
You like jump scares?
Love jump scares.
Really? I find them cheap, but I can see why people would like them.
Like, and then like even with the Conjuring series or Paranormal, like I can do those because they're not dark. They're like about ghosts and stuff.
Right.
But they still have like jump parts. All of a sudden the door just slams and you're like, oh shit. Or like she looks up and then the thing's right behind her. It's like that kind of stuff. Gore, I hate gore.
Yeah. I hate gore too.
Like there's nothing like scary about it. It's just kind of dark and evil.
Yeah.
That's
it's
kind of
just
how I feel about that.
And people who get entertainment out of, I know there's a lot of people that are entertained by those types of movies. I just don't understand it at all.
There's no context to it. It doesn't help me relate to the story more to show somebody being brutally murdered or anything like that. Like,
like Saw. Oh, do you want to hear? Okay, so we've discussed my 18th birthday on this podcast in the past.
On the first episode of your 18th birthday?
On the first episode.
The cheeks clap.
Yes. Dad took me to Denny's, made me drink a full coffee before we'd go home. Okay, so yeah, that day was just like a bad day, just a bad day. But so that night, my friend invites me out to a movie. And like, honestly, the day was shot at this point. So I was just like, yeah, whatever, get me out of the house. The movie that they took me to see was Saw 4. So my 18th birthday was all just fucked because I hated that movie. I knew going into it I wasn't going to like it, but he was like, no, give it a chance, give it a chance. Mm-hmm. And like more than half the movie, my eyes were closed. Yeah.
It's just dark.
Yeah, it was
evil.
messed.
I don't like to feel like the evilness on it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah. The little clown's wearing a tux.
Yeah, I can't watch the Saw. I think I watched the first 2 and that was it. I can't watch Hostel. I walked out.
Hostel? I've never even heard of that one.
It's about people who kind of go backpacking. Yeah, like and go to Amsterdam and stuff. Yeah. And then they stay in those hotels that they call hostels.
Hostels. Oh.
But then you get like, and they go down to the bar, but they end up getting drugged, and then they wake up and they're like in a different room. They're not even in their hotel room. They get tortured and.
Oh my God.
And it's people like from overseas, so they take like U.S. citizens and shit. That junk was so messed up. So messed up.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah, I walked out of that one.
That's messed. Was it gory?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ew. Yep. Okay. I was going to say, like, that kind of sounds like an interesting concept, but it's also a horrifying concept because that's probably based in some bit of fact.
Yeah, I ain't staying in no hostel.
Oh, I could never do a hostel. I know enough people that have done them, but it's just not for me. It's not.
I'm like, yeah. My favorite scary movies were the Conjuring universe. I really like those. I
should watch them. I've seen a couple, I think. And in fact, I think the one that you and I watched that I'm referencing is part of the Conjuring series. The one with the dad and this. It was Insidious. That's exactly what it was.
You guys don't watch it?
It was. Whack. I just laughed.
You was scared? Yeah, you was scared.
Yeah, he's not a true horror movie buff.
He was scared.
That's the best horror movie ever.
I mean, it is a classic, but
I couldn't watch scary movies as a kid, so I never saw the original.
Oh, I didn't either. But I don't know. It's known. It's a classic.
The new one, and I was like, this shit whack.
I saw the new Child's Play.
That shit was corny.
That was stupid.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
Wait, so Alonzo, you watched the new one?
Yeah,
the new It?
Yeah, I got them both. I bought them.
You were scared, weren't you?
In the movies, it was kind of scary.
You screamed?
I was just like, jump.
Ah!
6'8" clown?
I mean, yeah, that's messed.
I mean, you try to blame it on somebody else besides you, like, hey man, why you trying to make me jump? I know he did.
Yeah,
black folks just wouldn't go to the sewer and see what people.
I'm not going to no.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
No.
So if any of these moments happen to us in real life, will you please talk me out of walking into those situations?
Yeah, I'm like, Sean, what you doing? I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Hey, remember that meme? Remember our episode? We've discussed this.
And you're like, come on, let's go. I'll be like, nah.
I'm just gonna open the door. And looking back, had that been, and who knows? Like, I honestly think that the door pounding moment was a ghost because I got up immediately. And I could literally see the entire.
The fact that you said you looked at the peephole and then opened the door. Ain't wasn't nobody there.
I looked through the peephole and then looked outside to the front of the building to see if someone was running out. And then you
opened the door.
And then I opened the door. And there were no footprints in the snow even.
And then you opened the door.
I could have, if there were an intruder, I totally could have just let them in. Like, think about it. If someone had a gun, I would have been fucked.
You did.
But it was a ghost.
If it was like the episode of Scream or something like that, dead.
I've not seen Scream, oddly enough. Yeah.
I can't believe you.
No. You want to know a movie? Haunting of Hill House is my favorite.
That was a good series.
Anything of, like, yeah.
That was a really good series.
Yeah.
Good storyline, too.
Haunting of Bly Manor was okay. Haunting of Hill House was just beautiful, though.
I haven't finished it.
Hill House?
No, Bly.
Bly?
Because Josh and I were watching it.
Oh, that's
then
right.
The pandemic happened, and I just feel like it's cheating to finish it without him.
I think you I think the statute of limitations has expired.
I can't do it.
Really?
Yeah.
How many episodes do you have left?
We have 3 more.
Okay. Oh, there is so much that happens in those 3 episodes.
Didn't watch it.
It was cute. Not scary. So here's the thing about Haunting of Hill House. Like there was only one jump scare in Haunting of Hill House, and it got me good. I've never jumped. I literally like screamed so loud, woke up my whole house. But it was so good, and it played into the story so well. It wasn't a cheap jump.
Was it the bent neck lady?
Yeah. Yep. It was when they were another spoiler. It was when they were driving in the car. And the 2 sisters who are still alive are fighting, and they're just like not getting anywhere. And then she just shows up and like screams at them. And oh my God, I've never screamed like that in my entire life because you were so invested in that scene. Wow. But it was so well done. I was like, yeah. Haunting of Bly Manor, nothing like that.
Oh, I got scared.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but I'm scary. I'll talk up a movie. I'm like, oh shit, she finna go in the door. She finna go in the door right now.
You
shit,
hype
I know
it up.
somebody behind there. I know somebody behind. So then I just like, and then when it happened, I'm like, oh.
You build up the suspense, and so it makes it feel more suspenseful.
I am the person that talked to the TV. Don't go in there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she went in there. She about to die. She's
That's
so
amazing.
dumb. That's me.
You are actually. You are. I enjoy that about you.
In the movie, I'll be like, oh my gosh.
I enjoy. Oh, we need to watch a movie together soon.
Some people be like, shut up. I'll be like, it'd be so hard to not say anything.
You're like, don't tell me to shut up. You shut up. That's
I narrate the whole thing.
It's cute though, and it's fun.
I'm like the girl. Oh, you haven't seen Scary Movie. I can't reference that.
I need to watch it now. I binged Bly House though, and I watched it alone. I just couldn't wait.
I'm trying to think of some other scary stuff. Okay, something scary that I did to my mom when we were young. And we got a beating for it. Well, we got pop. So you know when Sixth Sense first came out? In like
98?
I don't know the year, but you know when it first came out or whatever. Like that was a different level of scary.
Yeah.
No one had made like a movie like that in that type of scary. And of course, no one made a movie like Blair Witch when Blair Witch came out.
I haven't seen that.
What?
I need to see that and Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, watch that.
The Butterfly Effect.
No, they're not scary.
No?
They're
Okay.
like thrillers.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Okay,
so Sixth Sense.
So, yeah, we used to go watch scary movies as a family.
Yeah.
And so one morning, we got up before my mom. And we was like, open up all the cabinets and then go to bed. Let's just go to bed. So we opened up all the cabinets. And, because you remember the scene in Sixth Sense, all the cabinets was open when she woke up?
Because he's trying to get her attention, right? Yeah.
But then he was sitting on the table like this. And so all the cabinets was open. And we was asleep. And then my mom came up and she started screaming. We was like, what happened? We was like, oh my God, Mom, what the hell? Oh my God.
That's
so
hilarious.
We was scared.
That's so
and she
funny.
was like, oh my God. Okay, we need to, she's like, trying to find some solution to some ghost shit. And we was behind her laughing.
That is.
And she turned around and she was like, you don't play like that. And then we ran in the room.
That is the best prank story I've ever heard.
She was scared as shit.
I can just imagine what was going through her head. She's just
terrified.
Like, I didn't think this was actually a real thing I'd ever have to address in my life, but here we are. Here I am addressing it. What do I do? Do I leave? Do I run away?
The 4 of us and we scared.
That's so... No.
Another successful episode?
Yeah, I think so.
He's been waiting.
Sorry
for
for
all my life.
Yeah.
I've been waiting.
That was the first time you've ever done that, though. So thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm not apologizing, but it was a dark episode.
They say you don't. What is it? Don't apologize. Ask for forgiveness. Is that how it says?
Don't ask for permission.
Ask for don't.
Beg for forgiveness.
What is it?
We're
don't
there.
Don't ask permission.
Don't ask for permission. Beg for forgiveness.
Shit, I don't know, but y'all know what we talking about.
Yeah. It's there.
It's there.
It's somewhere in the marble. Just has to be chiseled out of the marble.
This was a different episode.
Yeah, it was.
This is.
I thought it would go a different direction.
How?
I don't know. I thought it'd be a lot more lighthearted than what it was.
Scary movies with smiles.
The scary movie part, I thought that was lighthearted, but I don't know, just
You had some shit. You had some woohoo.
And I talked them down, actually, especially the dream that I had with that boy in the apartment. That was messed.
Chills.
That was really messed. His mom freaked me out.
Well, as you can see, we love when you guys give us
this is fun. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining us again.
Yes.
Oh, find us at WTHR We Doing on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we have our individuals, DANNI_SADE, Instagram.
I'm Shawnee Chic.
And we out, baby! Bye.